So we're going to be talking about writing an equation in slope-intercept form. All right, so we're going to take what we learned in the last video and apply it to writing equations. Right, and basically there are 3 steps. In order to use the form y equals mx plus b, which is what we saw in that last video, we need to know the slope, the m. We need to know the y-intercept, the b. And then once you have those two, you're just going to substitute in the values for m and x. Substitute the values of m and b into the equation y equals mx plus b. Right? And again, we've done this several times now. Slope should be super easy, but just in case you may have forgotten, you're looking for when that change in y over the change in x, or the rise over the run, and then b, what is that? That's when x equals 0. Okay, that's your y-intercept. All right, so let's look at the table first. To find the slope, you look for your change in y and your change in x. So our change in y, this is going up, right? So the change is positive. It's going up by 5. This is going up by 3. So my slope is 5 over 3, y over x. Then I want to look for my y-intercept. My y-intercept is when x is 0. So when x is 0, what is y? 0. Right? Then I just plug it into the equation. The equation is this, y equals mx plus b. So I'm replacing m with what? 5/3, and I'm replacing b with 0. So how do I write that? Y equals 5/3 x plus 0. Do I need the plus 0? No. I can also just write it as y equals 5/3 x in this case. Okay? So either one of these is fine. All right, look at the next one. I start by finding my slope. So I need a change in y and the change in x. So here, notice the slope is going down, so that's a -2. But over here, x is going up. That's a change of what? 1, positive 1. So y over x, -2 over 1. Okay, or that's just what? -2. The y-intercept is when x is 0. So they give it to me here. X is 0, y is 3. Right, so if I'm just going to replace m and b in this equation, so this time instead of y equals mx, y equals, what is m? -2 x plus what? Plus b plus 3 in this case, plus 3. All right, and number 3, let's start by finding the slope. So the change in the y, the change in the x, the change in y, it's going down, so that's a negative change of 1. Here it's going up, that's a positive change of 1. So the slope is going to be the change in y, -1 over 1, which is just -1, right? I want to find that y-intercept. The y-intercept is when x is 0, x is not 0, so I have to figure it out. So I'm going to work backwards, right? These are going down. I just have to go down 1 more. Here, these are getting, if I look at this, from this direction, it looks like these are going up by 1 each time. So this would be a 9. So my y-intercept is 9. Write your equation, y equals, instead of m, I'm going to use -1 x. Okay, what's the rest of it? Plus b plus 9. Now this one I can also rewrite. I don't have to have the -1. Remember, that can also be rewritten as -x plus 9. Will also work. Okay, it's just understood that the number is a 1 when it's in front of a variable, if there's no other coefficient there. All right, and we're going to do the same thing with a graph. So if I find the slope, I need a point. I need 2 points on the graph. Right, so I'm going to use this point here and this point here. Actually, I'm going to start with the y-intercept. Y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. Right, so that would be the point 1, 2, 3. And then to get from this point to this point, okay, it's rise over run. And this is positive because I'm going up. So rise is 1, run is 2. So 1 over 2. All right, my equation is y equals mx plus b. The form is y equals mx plus b. So I'm replacing m with 1/2. Y equals 1/2 x. I'm replacing b with 3 plus 3. Number 2, I'm going to start with my y-intercept. My b is at -2. My slope I need to find. Now this one's kind of hard to read. It kind of looks like it's in the middle there. I can see that it's intersecting the point here, so I'm going to use this point. So this time the slope is going down. So that's a negative change of 2, and it's going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. So rise over run, -2 over 5. So if I write that as an equation, y equals m negative 2/5 x plus b plus negative 2. Now, I don't have to say plus negative 2. The other way to write that is negative 2/5 x, and then just make it minus 2. Okay, that would also work. Both of these are fine. All right, and this last one, I'm going to start again with my y-intercept. It's negative 2. And then I need to go up to the next point, right, which it does intersect right here. This is called the x-intercept, but it's not part of our equation, so we don't ever find it. But in this case, it helps us find the slope, so we'll use it. The line is going up, so that's a positive change of 2. And it goes over how many? From this point to this point, 1. Right, so rise over run would be 2 over 1. Right, so y equals mx. So m, 2 over 1 is really just 2x plus b. So plus negative 2. Or again, you can rewrite that instead of plus negative 2 as 2x minus 2. Okay, so handy little form, y equals mx plus b. In order to use it, you need to know the slope and the y-intercept. So on a graph, you're just finding the change in y and the change in x, and then looking for where x is 0 so you can find the y-intercept. On a graph, you're looking for where it crosses the y-axis. That's your y-intercept, and then you're finding the slope by using rise over run. All right, I'll see you soon.